Hello everyone, and let's check out another very beautiful chess game by Paul Morphy. After defeating every notable player in the Europe Paul Morphy welcomed in his homeland as a hero, he defeated every strong chess masters in the Europe like Samuel Boden, Lowenthal, John Owen, Adolf Anderssen, Daniel Harwitz, and many other great players in the Europe. Morphy defeated everyone, and finally he defeated Adolf Anderssen and became the unofficial world chess champion. So 1858 was a glorious year for Paul Morphy, and now I will show you some of the chess games of Paul Morphy from 1859. And 1859 was also a very colorful year for Paul Morphy. And in this chess game, Paul Morphy is playing with the white pieces, and his opponent is Preston Ware. This game was played in 1859 in New York. And guess what? Paul Morphy sacrificed one of his knights. He's playing with the knight odds epically. And Preston Ware was not a noob. He was a notable chess player. He was an active chess player. He competed many important tournaments in his country. So anyway, let's check out this marvelous chess game by Paul Morphy. So as you can see, Paul Morphy surrendered one of his knights against Preston Ware, and Paul Morphy starts the game with playing e4, e5, f4, king's gambit, e takes on f4, knight to f3, g5, bishop to c4, bishop to g7, h4, h6, d4, d6, c3, queen to e7, and Paul Morphy castled, bishop to g4. So if queen takes on e4, rook to e1. After bishop to g4, Paul Morphy played queen to b3, c6, bishop to d2, bishop takes on f3, rook takes on f3, knight to f6, rook to e1 by Paul Morphy, knight to g4, rook from e to f1, and Preston Ware castled, h takes on g5, pawn takes pawn, bishop to d3 by Morphy, knight to h6, rook to h3, knight to a6, queen to d1, f5, and after f5, Paul Morphy played queen to b3, that's check, rook to f7, blocking, rook to e1, lining the rook with the queen, queen to d7, going to somewhere else, e takes on f5, rook to e8, and exchanging the rooks, f6 by Paul Morphy, one of the most annoying moves in this position for black, and Preston Ware thought deeply and hard, and then he played d5. And of course after d5, Paul Morphy captured the bishop, f takes on g7. So after f6, why d5? If bishop takes on f6, then rook takes knight. And in this position, white is better. White has the active position. But of course, the best move was bishop to f8. And yet in this position, white is not losing, because we have rook to h5, king to h8, rook takes on g5. And this position is not completely losing for white. White has some attacking opportunities. So maybe playing bishop to f8 should be considered by Preston Ware. But he played d5, and Morphy chops the bishop, f takes on g7, king takes on g7, queen to d1, g4, attacking the rook. And in this position, Paul Morphy seized the opportunity and he played the best move. So in this position, what would you do if you had the white pieces? Can you guess the best move in this position? Well, of course, Paul Morphy played the best move, and he played rook takes on h6, sacrificing the exchange. And Ware was in shock. He captured the rook with the king, and then queen takes on g4 by Paul Morphy, threatening checkmate. So defending rook to f6 by Ware. And what would you do in this position? Well, of course, Paul Morphy captured the pawn with the bishop. Bishop takes on f4. And how to defend with black in this position? The only defense is rook takes on f4. This is what happened in the game, where captured the bishop with the rook, but then losing the rook. At the game, Morphy captured the rook, and Ware resigned. Black resigned in this position. White is winning. This is completely dead for black. Unbelievable chess game by Paul Morphy. He sacrificed one of his knights before the game for his weaker opponent, and yet Paul Morphy crushed his opponent like a little child. Well, in this position, let me show you the possible continuation and why Preston Ware resigned. So if king to h5, let's say, then g3, so queen to e1, king to g2, no more checks, queen to e7, queen to f5, queen to g5, and queen to h3, only defense, queen takes on h4, checkmate. But of course in this position, after queen takes on f4, there are better moves for black. So maybe king to g7, then queen to g5. If king to h8, then queen to h6. And again, black is losing, this time losing the queen. As you can see, it's all over for black. So the most reasonable continuation is king to f8, then queen to h6, king to e7, queen to e3, and exchanging everything. Bishop takes knight, simplifying the game. And this pawn endgame is losing for black. White has one extra pawn. And because of the very bad pawn structure of black, white is winning easily. So this is why, after rook takes on f4, Paul Morphy simply captured the rook with the queen, and Ware resigned. Another fantastic chess game by Paul Morphy. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and bye bye.